So for those that did miss it, they had the Game Awards last night where they announced all of the awards for all of the games out there that won their respective awards for the year. Shout out to Elden Ring for winning Game of the Year and for God of War running up. Moving forward from that, no hate, no shade, no toxic fan base or anything like that. The game is one where they were deserved because of the impact that they had across the gaming community throughout the rest of the year. For me, I wanted to make this video to talk about some of the games that were announced that I am extremely excited for, that I am hyped for, that I cannot wait to be able to play myself, and basically start a discussion with anybody out there that wants to comment below and let me know what games you're looking forward to the most as well. So first up, Final Fantasy 16 was one of the games that was announced, and it has looked like the most amazing game from everything that they showed us, from each trailer to each piece of information dropped for Final Fantasy 16. And the date that we're going to get for that game is June 22, 2023. It looks like June is shaping up to be a very, very expensive month for a lot of people. So they're going to have to wheel and deal that money to save it up so they can get a piece of the honey come June. Me personally, with all of the battles and the summons and the graphic designs of the game itself, it looks visually beautiful, and I feel like this Final Fantasy is going to take place of like almost on the Naruto level mixed with Attack on Titan, where you have the Jinchuriki, aka the summons that are held within people that are going to be set off in a war for the power of the throne, of the land, of the kingdom, whatever you want to call it. I can't wait. I'm excited. I know everybody has their gripes about Final Fantasy 15. I didn't think it was that bad of a game. It was my first like actual Final Fantasy game to play outside of 14, and I really enjoyed it. So, you know, I'm not really the biggest person to know a lot about Armored Core. I saw it back in the day when it was actually a game and a thing that people liked, but to know that it came from Software, the developers of Game of the Year, Elden Ring, I'm excited to see what more is going to happen with the game. I know a lot of people personally in my life that are excited to see that game come back, so I know that they're going to be super excited about getting a chance to play it. Hades 2 was announced. Now, I did not get a chance to fully play Hades 1, and now I have a legitimate excuse to play it because Hades 1 has always been one of those games that got away from me. Being a streamer, content creator, you're trying to keep up with playing different games here and there. You end up just missing out on a lot of things like that. So definitely going to be playing Hades 1, but Hades 2 has been announced and it looks amazing, taking place with such graphic design, visual, again, a beautiful game, and it being a roguelike game where it's going to challenge you and it's going to have all of the well-designed characters, and the voice acting was phenomenal. Another great game that I really am looking forward to, and I know they're going to release it in early access in 2023, so we'll be able to play it as a work in progress up to the final and finished part of the game. From the creators of BioShock, we're going to get a game called Judas. Now, Judas looks really cool. It's a very unique game, but we all know how BioShock games play. It's a disintegrating starship, a desperate escape plan, and that's pretty much what we're going to see as far as a single player first person shooter coming out. Very, very little details, but another really cool game I look forward to learning more about as we go forward with Judas. It took me a while to gain any interest in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and after playing the game for the first time and putting the game down and coming back to it when it came out on PS5 with the remastered edition, playing through it again, I gained a small appreciation for how the games are played in that nature. Now, I expected it to be this open world Star Wars embedded adventure, and it was a little bit slower than what I imagined. It wasn't exactly what I thought because I'm a person that loved the Force Unleashed at heart. So I was expecting something like that, but it was completely different. But actually taking time and stepping back from all of those expectations and playing the game and really trying to see what it brings to the table, it was a very well thought out game and it was really good. GG's to Respawn for that. And I'm excited to play part 2. I hope that it steps up to a whole new level because as far as the graphics go, the visuals go, the man Kel Kestis and stepped this game up and bossed up on everybody with the new facial hair and the swagger that he's got as a Jedi now. It's going to make for a really great thing, and that's going to be releasing March 17th, 2023. My first Diablo was Diablo 3, and because it came to console and I was a huge fan of Gauntlet Legends and being able to dungeon crawl with friends and play and customize your character and level up and power up and destroy and wipe the floor with everybody, I was truly excited to know that Diablo 4 was on its way. I know it took a while, it took a step back, delays, all of that stuff, but now to know that come June 6th, 2023, we get to finally put our hands on the game, and if you pre-order it, you get an open beta taking place sometime before then. another huge game for me because I put a lot of time into playing Diablo 3 with my friends, and we had a great time. We still play that game to this day, and we talk about that game to this day, so we cannot wait to be able to sink our teeth into that game and see what more has to go into the world of Diablo 4, and all of the customization and the new graphics and all of that stuff is going to be so good. I can't wait. I'm not really the best in fighting games at all. I have zero patience. I make a lot of mistakes, so I get punished for whiffing a lot in any game that I played. One of my favorites was Soul Calibur 6 and Dead or Alive. So looking at Street Fighter 6 here, I gained an appreciation for fighting games this past year by playing Guilty Gear with a lot of my friends. I loved the way Guilty Gear looked and played and felt. And then also playing Rumbleverse, which is a melee battle royale. It gained an appreciation in my heart because I understand just a little bit of the fundamentals in fighting games. So I'm definitely going to be trying my hand at it, but it seems like they're trying to bring in new players instead of the old tried and true veterans of the game. And that alone makes it way more engaging for me because you get to create your character, you got the arcade mode, you got the open world mode. I think they've added a lot of things in for people like me that want to try to get into the game and see if we can learn. I mean, yeah, it may be money not well spent, but again, it'll be for a great experience and trying to learn a new fighting game and seeing if I can keep up with my friends that I know that are going to play the game and have fight nights along the way. We've seen bits and pieces of gameplay for Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and from what I've seen, I've always been impressed, but this trailer hits hard a lot more because of the fact that Kevin Conroy has now gone from this world, resting up in heaven as the angel that he is, because he gave us one of the greatest voices in all time for our Batman. Now we get to see that in this trailer, and I'm telling you, it shook the room. It made me very silent, and I couldn't do anything but sit there and just go, wow, this man, he can do it. And to see that it's going to be a 4-player co-op game, I can't wait to be able to check out more gameplay and more details into that. It's definitely going to be a game I'm going to pick up because I've always been a big fan of Rocksteady, from the first Arkham Asylum Batman game that they made up until the most recent game that they had made, which would have been Arkham Knight. They didn't make the Arkham Origins, and they didn't make Gotham Knights. Those were made by the Montreal Warner Brothers team. So definitely going to be seeing what Rocksteady brings to the table with everything that they've learned from Gotham Knights and from Arkham Knight, and how they're going to implement that into this game, and seeing where this game leads. If it's going to lead to maybe a Superman game or a new Batman game, or maybe it's going to lead to opening up the world for Rocksteady to conquer Justice League, because they've been doing such a great job with Batman along the way. May 26, 2023, let's go. Lords of the Fallen. Now this is a reboot, and it's being remade into like a Souls-like challenging RPG in a dark fantasy world. It's a reboot. No. Lords of the Fallen. This is a new game. It's being rebooted from the original 2016 Lords of the Fallen game. It's going to take place 1,000 years after the original and a world 5 times larger than it. It looks to be heavily inspired with the RPG lore, dark fantasy world, and combat, giving you a challenging Souls-like experience, and it looks amazing. If I had not delved into Elden Ring, I would not be up for playing games of Souls-like caliber, but definitely since I've gained an appreciation for it, I am really interested in seeing what they're going to have to offer with this game. It looks amazing. The detail, the graphics, the world, everything about it. I can't wait till we get to know more and more about it. Release date, we don't have one yet, but they wanted to let the world know and put us on notice that Lords of the Fallen is on its way. Now, me playing like difficult and challenging games was interesting for me because I picked up Returnal because I fell in love with the visual aspect of the game. However, I did not expect it to play the way that it did in being a roguelike game. I didn't understand that, and when I played it, I didn't give it its actual flowers and playing it for the great game that it was, so I took it back. Now that I know that it's coming to PC, one of the weird things for me was that I felt like I would play it better on mouse and keyboard. And I'm glad that they took it upon themselves to release it on PC, because now I can definitely get into the game and play it the way that I feel like I would want to play it, not the way that it was meant to be played, because you can play that game whether it's on controller or PC. But thankfully it's coming out on PC, so I thought that was a really cool way to come back around to this game so I can actually give it a legit chance. And I would love to play the co-op that they have involved in that. If you did not know, they have that as well. Forspoken has been a game I've been covering as much as I can from the information that I've had since I started making YouTube videos and focusing on YouTube itself. The demo is out right now. You can download that on PlayStation and play it. From what I've seen so far, it looks amazing, and I think it's a really great time and a really great spot to drop the demo, because now you can really play the game, see how it feels, see what it offers, and see if it's going to be something you're going to want to pre-order or buy or play. And I know for me, I really want to go all in on this game because I just enjoy open world games that are beautiful, that have ways to explore. And after learning about the most recent trailer, where it then gives you the option to explore the world for puzzles, the different chambers, the different beasts that are out there, to among other different collectibles, it gives you really cool abilities, really cool power-ups, really cool lore, on top of a really cool character, and how everything is built that you can use to explore this phenomenal world that they have with amazing looking combat. So yes, Forspoken is a definite cop for me. I cannot wait for that game to come out. And again, I cannot wait to get into the demo and check that out as well, which I'll be dropping a video on that as well on the YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, you can subscribe to follow for more Forspoken news. So a couple of games to mention without much detail in them as well that were really interesting and caught my eye that I'm going to be keeping an eye on. Transformers Reactivate. It's an online action game coming to PC and consoles. What it's going to be, how it's going to immerse us, I do not know. The reveal trailer didn't leave much to imagination, but again, another one that's like, hey, you know, if it's a really dope Transformers game, it could really be something special. May not be world breaking or groundbreaking, but it could really be something special in its own unique and niche category. The next one up was Banishers, Ghost of New Eden. It's starring a pair of ghost hunters that are Banishers, taking place in 1695 in the haunted wilds of North America. So these two are romantically involved as they try to work to stop the threat of lingering ghosts and specters to protect the living. That sounds like a really great game and a really great idea. And the fact that it's going to be like an RPG, it's going to have a very unique play style to it, I would imagine and I would assume. So that's another one to keep my eye out on. If you think that sounds like something you would enjoy, definitely give it a shot. Check it out. Let me know what you think. But yeah, I can't wait to see more about Banishers Ghost of New Eden. Then there's another one, a single player magic first person shooter called Immortals of Aveum. It's going to be in its own original world. It is also going to be an EA original, so it's going to be coming from the group of devs that have done Dead Space, Halo, Bioshock. I know everybody has their mixed feelings about EA and how they've been doing with games lately, but it does look cool. I hope that this ends up being something that is very new and refreshing, or if it does borrow some of the things that we've already known for, it does it in its own unique way where it just makes sense and it actually stands out on its own. Now, I couldn't get into the game at all, but Remnants of the Ashes was a really cool game for the people that actually liked it, and being able to watch people that knew how to play the game and that enjoyed playing the game and how they played it. Again, it's a Soulsborne 3-person cooperative shooter for looter and ghastly beasts and all of those things. So I wonder if Remnant 1 was like their test field, and then Remnant 2 is where they're going to put their foot in the lemonade and really give us something to drink, because I feel like there were things missing from that game that made it feel stagnant and not as cool as it could have been, to now seeing if they took all of those things and like remixed it and remade it into the thing that it needed to be, to bring in more people, because it's going to be on PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC in 2023, again with 3-person co-op, deadly worlds, and all of those things with high difficulty and a really challenging experience. So yeah, I'm excited to see more about that as well. Now, one of the biggest ones for me is that, being an anime fan, I love anime inspired games, and the fact that Blue Protocol is coming out, Bandai Namco does not hold back when it comes to games like that. Scarlet Nexus was always and will always be one of my favorite RPGs that I've played. The style, the presentation of the game was great, and the fact that it's going to be an anime inspired MMORPG, it brings anime to life. You're going to have the 5 different classes, from the Blade Warden to the Twin Striker to the Keen Strider to the Spell Weaver and the Foe Breaker. The trailer was so emotional and so impactful, and the fact that you get to create your character and enjoy this world with your friends, it's doing things that Genshin couldn't do. I don't know if it's going to lift the bar higher than what Tower of Fantasy had, because that fell off the face of the earth for a lot of people, but I cannot wait for this game. I need more of it. I need more of it. I need more of it. They have other stuff that they dropped about the game as well. I will be covering this game on my channel as well, so that way everybody that wants to be involved with Blue Protocol and hanging out with me will know about it as well. Blue Protocol is finally going to be released outside of Japan in 2023, and I cannot wait. Bring me that game. Replaced was a game that caught me off guard. I saw the voxel art, which is that very blocky pixel art, and the way that it was done in such a stylish and unique manner, really reeled me into the trailer, and then watching the gameplay itself and the story that's involved, it looks like a very unique experience. And I'm all about trying out different things and new things coming to the fray instead of us getting the same old that we normally do get from a lot of companies playing it safe. It's a retro futuristic platformer, and it finally got a great trailer, and it shows that the game is set in a dark alternative 1980s America, and it's going to take us from a trailer park to a rundown city to a lab to so much more, with action, story, lore, all of those things kind of bundled into one really cool and unique game. It may not be for everybody, but for those that do try it out, I would be highly surprised if you weren't impressed or engaged with the game when it actually drops. Wild Hearts has always been a game that I've enjoyed since I've seen it, because I've always wanted to have a Monster Hunter game that I could play with my friends across all platforms. And the fact that we're getting this one and it's going to be cross-plat is truly heartwarming for me, because now we all have our wishes answered. The only thing is, can this game play like Monster Hunter or live up to the hype to at least compete or be on the same conversation level as Monster Hunter? It's going to be the next thing. I know that people got a chance to play the early alpha or beta, and they said that it wasn't in full 1080p, so it wasn't in the higher graphic fidelity than Monster Hunter, which that never really stopped anybody from enjoying Monster Hunter anyway. But the different beasts that they have, the land that they have it in, the different ways that you can engage in the fights and out of the fights looks really cool, and I can't wait for it. Again, another game I'm going to try to cover, because when it drops in February 17th, if I'm not mistaken, I will be playing that game because I want to experience it for myself to see if it's going to be good or bad. Don't really have much to say about Destiny 2. I've tried playing the game, I've tried making content on it, and for some reason I always miss the mark with what's going on, but I do enjoy the game as a whole for what it is. However, I feel like the game does need a little bit more tender love and care as far as bringing more refreshing and original things to the game, instead of trying to reskin things or leave out multiplayer or leave out the PvE people or leave out the competitive people. Like, you got to start thinking about the bigger picture, that if you want this game to continue to live its life with all of these expansions and story and lore being built upon it, you got to start giving it a little bit to everybody, or to the right core of people that are still playing the game. So if that is with the PvE, hey, I'm all for it, and if it's not, then it is what it is. Among Us hide and seek. Now, for me, I enjoy playing Among Us so much. Me, my community, we all loved it. It was a great time, a great fun blast every time we played it. So the fact that they're adding in a legitimate hide and seek feature, where now you're going to have one killer and everybody else has to go and hide, that was like a mini game that everybody tried to play anyway. So now they're adding that in, and I think that's going to make for a lot more fun into the game. Will it give it a resurgence where it has that big boom like it did before? Who knows, right? I don't know if it will. I don't think it will. But again, just another cool feature to have for those out there that really enjoyed Among Us and may like Among Us / Dead by Daylight. Atomic Heart is another one that kind of snuck in there as a game that I was like, I don't know if I'm going to play it or not, because I never was really a big fan of like shooters like that. I think the last one I played was Deathloop, and Deathloop kind of took me for a loop because I expected it to be one thing and it's not. So I'm going to be paying close attention to Atomic Heart. Hopefully we get some form of a beta or a demo that we can try out and play, or I can watch somebody else play it and kind of get their perspective to see if their thoughts and their process and their mind lines up with what I'm looking for in the game. And if it is, then it'll definitely be something I'll cop for sure to play. Yeah, and with that, that's pretty much all I've got. That's all I wanted to kind of talk about and cover the games that stuck out to me that I was looking forward to enjoying. Please don't hesitate to let me know what games you're looking forward to, or if you agree with some of the things that I spoke about in the video. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up. If you didn't, you're more than welcome to hit that thumbs down. You can comment, subscribe if you want to join me for the next flight and all of the videos and the journey that I'm taking here on YouTube. I'd appreciate it. And until next time, be great, be you, fly easy heroes. Peace.